Welcome students. In the remaining part of animal tissue, we are today going to start regarding skeletal tissue, the bone and the cartilage. Here is the diagram of the skeletal tissue, which is called bone. Here you can see the concentric rings. These are called the Canaliculi, concentric lamellae. Okay, the canaliculi are these concentric rings that are present in the tissue, and on the periphery of these concentric rings, dark spots are seen. These are the osteocytes or osteoblasts, the bone cells. And in between these concentric rings, there are spaces. These spaces are known as Canaliculi. In the center of each concentric ring, here you can see the dark spots. These dark spots are the Haversian canal, which is the identifying or characteristic feature of bone cells, the tissue which is known as bone. The Haversian canal is the uh, region through which the blood capillaries and nerve cells pass. And here it is the diagram of the cartilage. Cartilage is the soft structure that we find in our ear, nose tip, and various other parts of the body. It has very fewer number of cells which are known as chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are the cells that we find present in the matrix of cartilage. The matrix of the cartilage is made up of protein with fewer number of cells. Now, about bone and cartilage, you can see here the details that cells in bone are called osteoblasts, which are distributed in the hard matrix and has fiber. Matrix is hardened by the salt of calcium and phosphorus. Matrix is in the form of concentric lamellae having a space between them called canaliculi. The concentric rings surrounded by the central canal are called Haversian canal. Here in cartilage, the matrix of cartilage is proteinaceous and has little hardening due to calcium salt. Matrix has sparsely scattered cells, that is the chondroblast or chondrocytes, found in ear, nose, trachea, larynx, joints of bones, etc. The next connective tissue is the adipose tissue, that is the fat storage tissue in our body is called adipocytes or adipose tissue. Animal living in cold climates have thick layer of this tissue, which is called adipose tissue, beneath their skin, which acts like as insulation and protect it from severe cold. Oval or round cells are scattered in the matrix that contain fat globules found distributed in yellow bone marrow between the internal organs and beneath the skin. The other type of connective tissue that we are going to discuss now is the ligament and tendon. Tendon, this is the tissue which connects muscle to bone and it is known as tendon, has white fibers compactly arranged parallel to each other in the form of bundles and has little matrix with fewer cells lying between these fibers. Ligaments, the tissue that connect bone to bone is called ligament, has little matrix like tendon with highly elastic yellow fibers. The other important connective tissue is the areolar tissue, the most widely distributed tissue in our body. Matrix of the tissue has haphazardly running fibers. These are the yellow and white fibers with irregular shaped scattered cells found between skin and muscle, inside the organ, and around the blood vessel and nerves. The other and the last example of this tissue that we are going to discuss is the nervous tissue. We have so far discussed muscular tissue, nervous tissue, connective tissue. Connective tissue had various types. The last type, that is the nervous tissue, we are now going to discuss. Here in the diagram you can see it is the nerve cell, and nerve cell is the smallest unit of the nervous tissue. Here this structure is known as the cyton or the cell body. Inside the cyton, here we find the nucleus, and the cell has a lot of processes around it. One elongated tubular structure is rising downward. This is known as axon, and this axon has a sheath of myelin. So we have written here myelinated sheath around the axon, and the last part of this nerve cell is the nerve ending. Neurons, this is the neuron, and neurons are nerve cells that constitute the nervous tissue. Cyton is in fact the structure containing nucleus and cytoplasm of the nerve cell, and neural impulse received by the dendrites are transmitted through axon. This is the whole account of animal tissue. If you have any problem, you can ask on my cell number I have given you already. That's all. Thank you.